This is Tamara, and she's going to walk you through the new Sharepoint site.
Okay, welcome to our Sharepoint site. We're going to start with the main document library. Basically, let's actually look at the homepage just for 1 second. There's 3 main sections. The section that is interesting to freelancers is this section, Information Assets. In terms of navigating the site, all of these things are links that will take you to different locations. Likewise, you have links over here. We're going to start by looking at the main document library, which is what you guys use the most. So the first thing you need to know is that it looks pretty different from the last one, but it's basically the same. It's got the same categories. What is different, there's 2 things that are different. One thing that's different is that unfortunately we can't see all of the file names. The workaround for that is to grab this little line and drag. The second thing that's different is filtering for different types of tagging. You can filter by clicking any of these arrows and then clicking filter by and then selecting the tags you want. I recommend that you filter instead by clicking on the filter icon, which opens up a panel or a pane on the side that has all of the categories that run along the top of the page and all in one place. So to open up any of these categories, if you want to filter for program area, you click See All and you filter via the tag that you want. You close, after you filter, you press Apply, close the box that way. And likewise, you can filter for donor and programs and document types and etc., etc., etc. Everything that appears here appears along the top here. One thing you should know is that there's different ways of looking at the library. And you can find these different ways of looking at them. They're called views over here with all documents. All documents shows you every document that's in the document library, whether it's a final document or in process. If you want your search to only turn up final stuff, click on this little arrow by all documents and go to Final Docs and Sets. Click that, and now everything that I search through is final copy. You won't find any empty sets over here. Okay, so the kinds of documents that you're going to see in the document library, you can tell what type of document they are by looking at the icon over here. This is PDF. We've got Word documents here. There may be some PowerPoint presentations. You might find an Excel. You also will find a folder icon. So you might find something like this, which is a folder. When you click on it, it opens up what we call a document set, which will have in it a writing request form if it's not a completed finished project. And if it is a completed finished project, you'll find the writing request form and another file, which is the completed document. When you're searching for documents in the document library, you'll see all different types of documents. And a lot of the documents you'll want to open up for information are Word documents. When you open up a Word document, just to see what's in it, just click away. However, just know that when you open up a document, you've opened up a document that remains on SharePoint. And if you start editing the document, you will overwrite what originally existed on that document, which is not good for us. So if you want to use the document as a base, you want to edit it in any way, you need to download it.
Save as.
You could do it that way. You could save as and then save a copy on your computer. Or you can select the document from SharePoint and click download. And then you'll be able to open a desktop copy that is not connected to SharePoint at all, and you'll be able to do whatever overwriting you want to do without causing any problems. Find a lot of things on the document library that you weren't able to find in the previous SharePoint site. It's not going to only be mostly donor documents. There's going to be other documents like regional strategy documents and PR documents and anything that has programmatic information we're going to try and collect and put here. So you'll find a large range of resources on the document library, but there are other places on SharePoint where there are other resources that we want you to know about. So from the document library, if you want to go back to the home page, you can either click here, or you can click here, or here. Any of these will take you back. Now, one thing you should just know is the way this page behaves is that most of the things you click will open a new tab. Most of the things you click from the menu on the side will open in the same tab, but most of the things over here will open in a new tab. So just be aware of the behavior of the page. Information assets section, moving down from the main document library to the client story bank. This is a resource that we've evolved to be a global story bank. Our previous story bank was only for the FSU.
And the stories that you send from your reports to Tamara, this is where they go.
This is where they go, and the more we get, the better the bank is. And we are interested in drafts and notes, not just final copies, but whenever you have a final copy, you should definitely send. Now, this bank is a bigger bank in terms of the tagging system. As you can see, you can search by program area, by programs, by geographic region and country and city like always, but what's different are these more specific tabs. We've got gender, we've got age, we've got ethnic population, disability, Sarva Shalom, Nazi victim. We've got if there's a photo or not, if it's a status if it's a final or a draft, the profile expiration date, and all these things you can search for. So if you're writing for a donor who has a special interest in women, if the story exists in our bank, you'll be able to search for it. And these tags could grow as we go along. For instance, someone said it would be great to have a holiday tag so that you could search for stories that are related to Hanukkah or Purim. I don't know if we'll do it. Maybe we will, but keep your eye on these tags because they'll change. Again, if you want to search and filter, you go to the filter icon. And you can also search by words over here in the search field on the left. Just remember though that the search field operates in two different ways. When you're inside a library, the search only searches inside the library. If you want to do a global search of the whole entire site, you have to go back to the home page from here or here, and then go back into the search window. Okay. Just remember that if you want to see the whole file name, you grab the line and drag it to the side.
Do you have to do that each time? Or?
No, when SharePoint closes, it'll remember that you've reconfigured it this way. And again, if you want to open it, just click it. But remember, don't edit it. Let's see it open up. When you see this icon, this save icon with the wheel, don't write over the document, please. Instead, you can save as and save a hard copy onto your computer.
Back to the home page?
Back to the home page. Okay. Other things that are of interest to you are the internal funding menu site and the thematic digest site. Right now there's nothing in the thematic digest site. For those of you who are aware of what thematic digests are, we have 4 of them: leadership, volunteerism, Israel, innovation, and disabilities, and they collect vast amounts of information from across the organization about these topics. They're great resources, but they're full of hyperlinks to all sorts of amazing content, but most of those hyperlinks are going to be obsolete once we move over to the new site and will have to be fixed again. So right now this library is empty. In the future, when these documents have been updated, you'll be able to find them here. They also exist in the main document library. So when you're searching for stuff, like if you ever search for leadership, you would also turn up the thematic digest, even if you're in the main document library. Internal funding menus. This is the funding menus that we make, not for any specific donor. They are the Israel division funding menus, the geographic region funding menus, and some thematic type funding menus like the capital projects funding menu. And we try and update them a couple of times a year. They're a work in process, but they're a wonderful resource.
And they're also on the document library, right? This
Exactly.
is just an easier way to access them if you're
Quickly.
looking for them.
That's right. But if you're looking for funding menus in the main document library, you're going to turn up these funding menus, and you're going to turn up any funding menus that are tagged that were made for donors, for specific donors. Other interesting resources on the homepage are the Marcom resources page. This is a fabulous, fabulous resource. All of this material is public facing and can be copied from as much as you want. There are all these documents. You just click next. We've got the annual report. We've got various information. We've got lovely dashboards. So I encourage you to look through. These dashboards have a lot of stats. I think each of them has a great story. So be aware of these resources, and if you scroll down, there's even more. There's JDC Field Blog, JDC in the News, videos. It's a great, great location. Community profiles. I think you guys are familiar with these. Again, if I want to see the whole file name, I'm going to just drag like that. And these documents cover our work in different countries and cities. They're usually 2 pages. They have a couple pictures, some historical information about JDC's work in the area, what we do today, some demographic information, that kind of stuff. That's community profiles. We've got professional bios, which has a number of staff bios in there. JDC Media System. Okay.
We're skipping that.
Okay, we're skipping that. The FSU campaign webpage and resources. This is a nice resource for anybody who has to write on the FSU. This is unlike the resources page, which I believe is a private link, this I believe is a public link. But there's a lot of FSU resources here on this page. And one thing you should know as this loads slowly is that this homepage is very flexible and is going to be changing as new resources are created, new web pages are created, if we create new pages in the site, new libraries in the site. So don't be alarmed if something starts looking a little bit different at some point. In any case, this is the FSU campaign page. Lots of good stuff. Stories, stats, great stuff. So one last thing that I think will be useful for you guys is the writing team homepage, which is under the RD internal section, has the nifty WT icon. When you click on it, the page opens up. We've got a link to the writing team website. It's useful for you guys. And we've got a little library of some important writing team materials. The most important thing for you guys, I think, is the words to avoid document, which is pinned to the top, so you don't have to search the library for it, and you can just open it up to find handy alternatives to Hebrewish type language and Hebrew and Israeli type of language and jargony language.
Great.
All right.
Okay.
Let me know if it
Just make sure to save the link on your favorites, the link to the site, so it's really accessible to you. And be in touch with questions.
Be in touch with me.
Any problems.
Yeah, let me know if you run into a technical problem. Please send me a screenshot and a copy of the URL, and I will respond probably within 24 hours.